Hello everyone, and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for detailed and informative reviews of the instant noodle universe. And today I'll be looking at the first of two ramen offerings developed by an Iron Chef. This is Sapporo Ichiban's Tokyo Chicken Momosan Ramen. Before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. Yes, that is world-renowned chef Masaharu Morimoto on the front of the package, and that's because Sanyo partnered with him a couple years ago to create two Sapporo Ichiban ramen flavors, this Tokyo chicken one and also a tonkotsu one. And I'm going to film the tonkotsu one right after this, so be on the lookout for that. And I just filmed the review of Sapporo Ichiban's basic chicken flavor right before this, and that was a pretty pleasant experience, and my main goal in doing that was to see how that one compares to this one, which is supposed to have a lot more complexity in its flavor. Now, unlike the other celebrity chef-developed noodles I've reviewed, which would be Momofuku by David Chang, I've actually been to one of Morimoto's restaurants before. Morimoto in Philadelphia was both the most expensive meal I've ever had and also one of the best. Truly amazing. And Momosan is a more noodle-focused restaurant venture than Morimoto is. Now, I've walked by the Momosan restaurant in Waikiki, but the group of people I was with were not interested in going inside, and so I was left to wonder what could have been. Well, I guess I can sort of not wonder anymore because here is a packaged Momosan product, which is cool. Sanyo's website says that both flavors are exclusive recipes from Morimoto himself, and so these had better be good. Let's talk availability real quick. As far as I can tell, these started popping up in late 2020 in stores, and they have been a huge pain in the ass to find. They constantly sell out in my local supermarkets and on Amazon and on other sites, and they stay out of stock for ages, with only the dreaded third-party sellers pricing them with a ridiculous markup. These should cost in the neighborhood of around $2 to $3 per pack normally. I paid $2.29 each at Yamibuy the second I got a restock alert, and they sold out the next day. So if you see these for a reasonable price and you want to try them, do not hesitate. You should be able to find these in most Asian markets and websites. The problem is just knowing when they're in stock. So let's check out the vital statistics. This is very high in sodium, just like pretty much all of Sapporo Ichiban's products, clocking in at 1960 milligrams, which is 90% of your daily allowance. Now inside we have a round air-dried noodle block. These are different than normal Sapporo Ichiban noodles. I think they're made specifically for the Momosan products. They are rounder in shape, and there's a little bit less of them than you get in the other packs. There's also a soup powder and a liquid seasoning oil. Now here's where things get tricky with my normal reading of the ingredients ahead of time, because obviously this is a proprietary spice blend, and so the ingredients list is rife with vagueness. But apparently this contains your usual artificial chicken broth flavors like yeast and garlic, as well as some leek chips. There's also a warning that this contains fish, but it doesn't specify what the form of fish is. I'm assuming maybe fish sauce or something like that for some umami. Now what's interesting is Sapporo Ichiban's regular chicken flavor has real chicken extract in it, but this has a vague natural and artificial flavors listed, so I don't know if that means real chicken or not. And if not, why? There's real chicken in the other one, so that seems like kind of a misstep if that's the case. Anyway, that's all I got. I don't really know what's in here versus what's in here because the ingredients list is not specific enough. So I guess we'll find out together. And with that, let me go cook. Okay, the noodles are boiling. We're going to put both soup packets in the bowl ahead of time and then pour the boiling water on top of it. Oh, that's got a really cool smell. There's some miso in there for sure. That's neat. Yeah, I just had a lick of it off my fingers. It's definitely got the vibe of rendered chicken fat. I can't say for sure whether or not it's artificial. There's some sort of neutral oil in there for sure, but it tastes really good. So let me go get the noodles and we'll put this all together. All right, and here we go. Now the package says that you should add a boiled egg, vegetables, or meat, but you know that's not how we roll here on an initial review. If a product can't stand on its own, then it is not worth adding things to it. Give this a quick stir. So it doesn't smell very chickeny now that it's all together. It's actually got a very strong kind of fermented miso vibe, which I'm pretty sure I smelled in the powder. And also maybe some wine? Rice wine maybe? It smells very good. It doesn't smell like any chicken soup I've ever had. And speaking of any chicken soup I've ever had, look at the consistency of the broth. It's dark, it's oily, dried green onion bits in here. I'm excited to try this. Let's give it a whirl. All right, let's talk about the noodles first, because if you were expecting Sapporo Ichiban's normal fried noodle quality out of this, which is already very good, these are even better. They're extremely bouncy, no harsh aftertaste of oil, beautiful air-dried texture. They actually remind me very much of Maruchan Gold or Maruchan Saimen noodles. They're terrific. Best noodles I've had from Sapporo Ichiban. I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10. As far as spiciness goes, you don't have to worry. This is not spicy, at least not to my palate. I can't say for certain that there's no chili pepper in here because the back of the packaging was not specific about spices, but I don't really taste anything. So 0 out of 10 on the spiciness scale. Now let's talk about the flavor of the broth. If you bought this expecting it to be a basic chicken flavor, you're going to be surprised by how good this is. I was doubtful at first that this could be that much different than regular chicken broth, but it is. It's regular chicken broth times 10. The chicken flavor, and I still can't figure out if it's artificial or natural, either way, it is potent and savory. But the backbone of this is a strong combination of soy sauce, onion, miso, some kind of wine, garlic, and oil. And I love it. Honestly, this is terrific. Absolutely up there as one of the best instant chicken soups I've ever had. It's engaging my taste buds on a lot of different levels, and I really appreciate that in a chicken broth. Now, if you're not a fan of chicken soup in general, I don't know if this is going to absolutely blow you away, but it's definitely something different to try, and I think most ramen fans will find something to enjoy about the flavor of this. Now, as far as any downsides, yeah, there's a lot of these tiny little green onion bits, but for something that's kind of a premium product from an Iron Chef, I kind of would have wanted a little more out of this. Some larger chunks of onion, maybe some shiitake mushrooms, you know, something along those lines. So while I don't think this is absolutely perfect, we've got phenomenal air-dried noodles and an incredibly tasty broth, and I have no problem giving this a 9 out of 10 as an overall score. Dynamite recipe. All right, and there we go. The Tokyo Chicken Momosan flavor is absolutely worth buying if you're a fan of chicken soup and Japanese flavors in general. It's savory, it's packed with flavorful and surprising ingredients, and without a doubt is one of the best chicken ramen recipes I've ever tried. If you can find this, it's worth the asking price. Just be prepared to add your own onions, chicken, egg, whatever to it. So next up will be the Tonkatsu Momosan flavor, which I can only hope will be as good as this, but you know, instant tonkatsu has some pretty stiff competition from my past favorites, so we'll see. I hope you'll check out that video when it comes out, and I'll see you next time on Noodle Journey.